Hi guys, it's Janan, and in this video I just wanted to share some of the things that helped me prepare for the UKCAT. And so before I get started, I just want you to bear in mind that these are things that helped me, and I can't guarantee whether it'll work for you or not, but the only way you'd figure out is by trial and error. So the first thing was I made sure that I didn't get overwhelmed with the different amount of resources out there. There's books, online courses that you can attend, and for me personally, whenever I've got too much information, I get information overload and I find it very difficult to take action. So I just stuck to the UKCAT Medify online question bank. It was recommended to me by a friend, and something that I really like about Medify is how the format of the actual questions itself is very similar to the UKCAT exam, in the sense that it's on a computer, electronic, and the actual layout of the questions and the question bank is very similar. So this helped me familiarize myself with the exam, which leads me on to my second tip. Once I booked the UKCAT exam, what I did was I sat down and planned out how I wanted that day to go for me, ranging from what time I'd wake up, what time I'd have my shower, what time I'd have my breakfast, what time I'd leave to go for the UKCAT, what time my actual UKCAT itself was, and then creating a sort of document checklist as to what I'd have to take with me, and being really prepared for the actual day itself. So once I had this routine that I set out for the exam day, I just made sure that I practiced this routine a couple of weeks before. So I made sure that I'd wake up at the same time. I'd made sure I'd have breakfast at the same time. Or if I found that doing certain things, having different breakfast or waking up at a different time made me feel more energetic whilst I was practicing on Medify, then I'd retailor my actual exam day routine to make sure that when I do go for the exam itself on the exam day, that I'd given my best shot with the amount of energy and the sort of focus as well. It's conditioning my body to be alert at that time. Which leads me on to my third tip. Talking more about conditioning, I put myself through a Pavlov's experiment here and gave myself a chewing gum before I started the actual UKCAT practice exams. I know this sounds a bit odd, but I don't have chewing gum most of the time, so this was a different stimulus for myself. So as soon as I had a chewing gum, and as soon as I trained myself to be really focused during that practice exam, on the actual exam day itself as well, having that chewing gum was a sort of signal to my body to say, okay, it's time to get focused, and it helped me kind of get stuck into the exam itself. There's very little time to warm up, and if anything, you don't have time to warm up. So this was something that helped me. Whether it will help you or not, I can't say, but make sure that the stimulus you do choose is something that's very different to your normal day. So for me, like I said, chewing gum wasn't something that I usually have every day, and so this was a good stimulus. Another stimulus that my friend uses is glasses. So she doesn't usually wear glasses, but she's just got frames. So she puts them on, gets to revision, and so in the exam itself as well, she takes her frames with her, and this is a sort of cue for her to say, okay, it's time to get focused, time to do some work. And the next tip I'd have, tip number 4, is to make time the night before. So I always used to have a to-do list saying, okay, I need to do UKCAT, but I never actually scheduled this into my calendar for the next day, taking into account all of the other sort of commitments I had for that day as well. So once you've got time, once you've planned out time for all of the other activities, all you've got to do is now make sure you turn up, whether you like it or not, like a dentist appointment, or so that you commit to that time and make sure you go ahead with that. And my last tip is to make sure that when you are practicing for the UKCAT, that you're focusing most of your time on your weakest section first, and proportion your time accordingly to your weaker sections. It's very easy to get into the trap of doing the sections that you find quite comfortable, or spending more time on those sorts of areas because it gives you that sense of self-confidence. But you've just got to realise that you've got to start somewhere with the UKCAT, and the only way you're going to give yourself the best shot is with the most practice. And it's better to practice and not do well in your weaker sections now than it is on the exam day itself. So before I wrap up this video, I just want to say it's very normal to feel a slight bit of anxiety or that feeling of unpreparedness before the exam itself. But just realize that this is your body sort of getting ready to be focused and to give this your best shot in the exam itself. If you are too laid back, it's not going to help you. You need to be focused and on the ball. So I'm sure you guys will do very well. Good luck with the exam, and if you have any questions, like I said before, feel free to reach out to me. Thank you.